Silence is powerful. You ain't got to answer every question. You have not got to absolve every curious bystander. Stop making it your mission to change the mind of your accuser. Sometimes your greatest strength is in your ability to shut up. You don't have to get them told. You don't have to get them straight. You don't have to get even. You don't have to respond to everything they say. Sometimes you just don't say nothing at all.
God loves you right where you at. All of you, you're in the process right now. You're in the process of becoming what God wants you to be. See, the reason you wake up every day is because God ain't through with you yet. Because he still has something for you that you've yet to receive. But you have to start living your life in expectation. You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. It is the law of attraction. It is real. It is nothing fake about it. A man is as he thinketh. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you. If you live your life in despair, that's what happens to you. If you say all men are dogs, you're going to meet every last one of them. I'll never be rich. You won't. You won't.
Now, my approach to my better future very early on in my career was to just go through the day with my fingers crossed. I sure hope things will change for the better. Then here's what I found out. They're not going to change. When you change, when you get better, it'll get better. Don't put it on someone else.
If you're going to really have an incredible life, you need to add a step. After acceptance is you must create anew. That's what this whole program's about. It's a new world. It's not just a new year. It's a new world that's going to require a new you and me. We got to find a bigger and better part of ourselves. So no matter how big the challenge is, we know that who we are is more than anything that can be done to us. And we know we can find a way. But that means you got to create anew. And so in order to create anew, you got to let go of what was. And I just want all of you to know, I don't believe in this term new normal. There is no normal. The world is always going through cycles. And we're in the middle of winter, but people, when things are going well, people think it's going to be great forever. And it never is. Life is cyclical. It's seasonal, right? So if you have springtime and then you got summer, hot summer, spring's great, it's growing, hot summer, you kind of get tested, then the fall you reap, and then you go to winter. Like what always follows? Winter, springtime.
Some people can't handle your success. They were fine as long as you were at their level, as long as you were single like them, as long as you lived in their neighborhood. You have to be okay with them not being okay with you. Your time is too valuable to worry about what people think about you. You don't need everyone to celebrate you. You don't need all your coworkers, all your relatives to cheer you on. If you become too dependent on people, then if they don't meet your expectations, if they don't approve you, you'll spend your time trying to get their approval. Don't look to people, look to God.
They don't print opportunities. You can lose money and get it back. You can't get time back. You can't get experiences back. Average people focus on money. The greats focus on time because I can't get my time back.
Some stuff takes time. Greatness takes time. It takes time. You got to be prepared to get 1,000 no's to get one yes. The thing you need to win is resilience. You can't just be trying different stuff because you can never say something didn't work when you didn't have tried. Be resilient. Stick it out. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Resilient. Some people have never thrown their whole self at nothing. Not at school, not at work. You've had 1 foot in and 1 foot out of every dream all of your life, and you've never seen what you could be if you ever really connected and threw everything.
Come on. You want to live your life from now on with courage. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do in spite of the fear. Most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run, but there are few that they face everything and rise. You're here to do something. You've got to live life like you mean it. When you live like a warrior, you honor your commitment. But you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to die for a job. You have other options. Don't be limited in your thinking. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to work on yourself. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to live an expanded vision of yourself. When you get up in the morning, decide to live a courageous life. This life is to be lived. Life is for living, for being productive.
As you don't surrender, as long as you don't give up, then you haven't failed. If you get beat, unless you're dead, you are not defeated. And you have not failed. What you've done is you've learned. So get up and go get after it.
You don't have control of the constellations. Learn some new skills. You have control over that. And if you don't, that's your fault. You've got to take personal responsibility. You've got to be self-reliant. Nobody else can change your life, alter your ambitions, pave a golden road for you. It's up to you. Be responsible for yourself. Learn to reap the harvest without complaint. Take full responsibility for everything you do. Be responsible to yourself. It's your crop.
Possibilities are always surrounded by challenges. You got to get through the challenges to get to the possibilities, but it's worth it. It's kind of like a Tootsie Roll. You got to get through the hard stuff so you can get to the good soft stuff. That's the way it is with life. That's the way it is with possibilities.
Fear is simply the inability to make a promise to yourself. It kicks in when you start thinking about all the bad things that can happen to you on the way to your destination. And before long, you're thinking, wouldn't it be easier just to stay home? Isn't it safer to just stay in bed? Isn't it better to pull the covers up over my head?
The gym, as much as I hate it, gave me a lot of that. Pushing through those extra sets when it burns, to dig deep within yourself, to realize that you can push. And now, even thinking back, going back earlier than that,
enough is enough. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I wanted to be the fucking best at everything I did.
It's literally only when we face failure that we realize these resources are always there within us. We only need to find them to fulfill our destinies after life has beaten you and broken you into pieces. Resiliency is that gift and ability. It's the discipline to turn those pieces into a work of art. Many of you listening to me know what it's like to lose everything. You know what it's like to hit rock bottom. You know what it's like not to be supported. You know what it's like to be lied on. You know what it's like to experience emotional, relational, and psychological trauma. And it changes you because you don't know what you are made of until you have gone through something. You already know what failure feels like. You already know what it feels like to quit, to stop, to throw in the towel, to sit on the couch, to move, to add substance.
In this discussion, we've been using the metaphor of going across town in a car. Let me conclude by referring to another little excursion. And it's one that I know for a fact you have already taken. When you were learning how to walk, you made a silent promise to yourself that you were going to do it. It may have been scary at times. You surely stumbled again and again. Tears surely fell from your eyes, but no matter.
I was almost 200 pounds at the age of 15. In fact, I was 200 pounds. I was 198. I ran cross country. My thighs would rub together so much during a race that they would bleed. I would have bloody thighs at the end of a cross country race. For the first 3 years, well, I guess I'll give you the full story. Year number 1 of cross country, my sister's friend was on the team, and she was 3 years older than me, and I had a crush on her. And I was 6 foot almost at that point, 200 pounds.
You didn't even think about that. Each time you fell, you forgot about it as soon as you regained your feet because you had promised yourself you were going to walk across the room. And you did it. How long did it take? Who cares? You did it. that point in your life, you had the strength of character to overcome fear and keep the promise you'd made to yourself. Do you still have that strength? Whether you realize it or not, you do. When you were that little child we've been talking about, you asked yourself, how long am I going to work to realize my dream of walking across the room? And you instinctively answered, as long as it takes. Make that same promise to yourself right now. Making it takes strength of character, and as I've tried to show, strength of character is the foundation of achievement.
And built like a football player, but I hated football because it hurt. And she said, oh, you should run cross country. And I was like, yes, I should, because I want to be around you. And so I did cross country my first year. She graduated. I was like, this sucks. I was the slowest person in the league, not my high school, in the league. I was the slowest. We did a league match. I came in dead fucking last. So I was quite literally the slowest person in the league. She leaves. I'm like, I am the fuck out. Peace. And then people on the team were like, no, man, you're super inspirational. You should stay. Because I would go to the end of the race and I would cheer people on. And I was like, oh man, it's somebody giving me positive feedback. All right, fuck it. I'll run again. So I end up running all 4 years. But the first 3 years, inside I'm doing it just to be liked. I'm doing it because people are telling me that I'm inspirational.
You know what it's like to give everything that you have. And push and persevere if you're going to understand the program of resiliency. We are going to have to stop running from difficult times, stop praying that the storm will pass over you, and pray to grow through the storm. Stop going around it, go through it. What you go through, you will grow through. Some fights are not won in the first round flat out. The moment that you get that and you get crystal clear and you accept the fact that there are some giants that you will not defeat. In the first round, you need endurance, you need stamina to reach some goals. You're not going to hit the million with the first investment. You're not going to hit the home run. Always at first swing, but resiliency says, I belong here and I deserve another shot. I want my opportunity. Give me my opportunity. It's your reaction to adversity, not adversity itself, that determines how your life story will develop. Rock bottom is the solid foundation to build the future.
I want to be remembered forever. And in order for that to happen, I realized I needed to act like it. Because being an average human being, being a sheep like the rest, isn't going to get me there. This is something you all need to understand. If you want to be the best in whatever you do, you got to start acting different than everybody else. If you want the nicest car, if you want to live in the nicest neighborhood, if you want the nicest clothes, the nicest jewelry, the nicest partner, the best of everything comes with a price. It comes from grinding through those late nights. It comes from grinding through those early mornings. It comes from those exhausting days where every fiber of your body is telling you to give up.
No one is going to jump in the sky. We just continue and just begins tonight. Let's land on your sky. The leaves been too long. It yells in line, we don't get fly. With you and celebrate that death that you just experienced. Yes, I know it may sound a little harsh. In fact, it may even scare you, but you can't fake this. You can't hide from this.
Life is short. And the only thing that's beautiful about it is that when you're living, you have strong possibilities. You have something that you can be doing to make it impactful for others to see. You can't stop. You can't stop living. You can't stop growing. You can't stop fighting. You have to understand that yesterday and today and tomorrow,
You've lost everything. Have everything you need. Resiliency says I tried and I failed. Resiliency has its own mentality. The program of resiliency says I tried and I failed. I tried and I failed. I tried and I failed. I tried and I failed again. I must start again and I'm not. Waiting till Monday, I'm going to start right now. I tried again and again and I succeeded. Remove yourself from the list of people that have disappointed you, that have lied to you, that have let you down. You are number one on that list. Remove yourself. The real you is breathing down your neck, begging you to manifest. Stop lying to yourself.
If you want to separate yourself from other people in the world, you got to start acting differently. And it starts with taking responsibility for your life. You see, every day you are presented with two paths. One path leads to your true potential. It leads to that first class ticket. It leads to that fancy car. It leads to that fancy house. It leads to those dreams you have every single night when you close your fucking eyes. And the other path is you staying the same. You see, most of you are stuck on the path of staying the same because you don't understand how to take responsibility for what is happening in your life. It's not that you don't want everything that comes with the path that leads to your true potential, but you are too hung up on blaming the past and the present. You are too hung up on blaming your mom for how she treated you when you were younger.
Are in 3 different universes. And the only universe you exist in right now is the now, is this moment, is this reality. You can't fix anything that's already been broken. Some things can mend in time, and some things are better off left alone. There are a lot of negative people right now that exist in this world. And there are people that are going to watch this video. There are people that are watching this video right now. There are people that are listening to this message right now. And yet, they'll still find something that is not making them.
Stop letting you down. You gotta kill the blame game. Stop blaming it on the person that walked out on you. Stop blaming it on the person that overlooked you. Stop blaming it on the person that undervalued you. Stop blaming it on the person that did not promote you, that did not see it, that did not believe it. Stop blaming everybody and look yourself in the mirror. It's your fault. You failed you. Started the year with a little motivation and a few ideas, and it all tanked before February. And the thing you gotta ask yourself is, am I going to repeat my history or will I blaze a new trail? Because history for many of you is insecurity. History for many of you is depression and anxiety.